Rituals of Exorcism, a global perspective on banishing evil. Rituals of Exorcism, a global perspective on banishing evil by Hakeem Ali Bokus Alexander and Flor Elizabeth Carrasco. Uniquilibrium Publishing, LLC. Copyright 2024 by Elizabeth Carrasco and Hakeem Ali Bokus Alexander. No portion of this book may be reproduced in any form without written permission from the publisher or author, that's me, except as permitted by U.S. copyright law. This publication is designed to provide accurate and authoritative information in regard to the subject matter covered. While the publisher and author, that's me, have used their best efforts in preparing this book, they make no representations or warranties with respect to the accuracy or completeness of the contents of this book, and specifically disclaim any implied warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. The advice and strategies contained herein may not be suitable for your situation. You should consult with a professional when appropriate. Neither the publisher nor the author, that's me, shall be liable for any loss of profit or any other commercial damages, including but not limited to special, incidental, consequential, personal, or other damages. This is the book Rituals of Exorcism, a Global Perspective on Banishing Evil by Flor Elizabeth Carrasco and myself, Hakeem Ali Bokus Alexander. It is not yet published. I'm hoping that by reading through this, I will be able to pull out anything that needs to be corrected, if any. So I'm reading through the manuscript before it gets published. There are 4 other books currently in this series available on Amazon.com under the series title, which is Uniquilibrium's Demonology. There's a book about the demon Nurgle, another one about Abraxas, and another one about Volak. And then there's also an overview of demonology. And so those are the 4 there in that series. This would be the 5th, which should be out in a few hours by tomorrow, if all goes well with this read through and checking for any errors. So, and I still also have to write an introduction for this, but or maybe not. We'll see. I guess it doesn't always have to be the same thing all the time. All right. So, table of contents, chapter 1, the history of exorcism, origins of exorcism practices, ancient exorcism rituals, evolution of exorcism in different cultures. Chapter 2, demonology around the world. The concept of demons in various cultures. Types of demons in different belief systems. Demonology in modern society. Chapter 3, exorcism practices in major religions. Exorcism in Christianity. Exorcism in Islam. Exorcism in Hinduism. Exorcism in Buddhism. Chapter 4, cultural approaches to exorcism. African exorcism rituals. Native American exorcism practices. Exorcism in Asian cultures. European exorcism traditions. Chapter 5. Contemporary exorcism techniques. The role of technology in exorcism. Psychological approaches to exorcism. The ethics of exorcism in the modern world. Chapter 6. Challenges and controversies in exorcism. Media portrayals of exorcism. Criticisms of exorcism practices. Legal issues surrounding exorcism. Chapter 7. Trends in exorcism practices. The globalization of exorcism. The impact of exorcism on society. Conclusion. Embracing diversity in exorcism. The importance of understanding different cultural perspectives, working towards a unified approach to banishing evil. Chapter 1. The origins of exorcism practices. This is a read-through of Rituals of Exorcism, A Global Perspective by Flor Elizabeth Carrasco and myself, Hakeem Ali Bokus Alexander, before it goes out to publication in the series that's available on Amazon entitled Uniquilibrium's Demonology. This would be the 5th book in that series. Chapter 1. The History of Exorcism. Origins of exorcism practices. Exorcism practices have a long and varied history, dating back to ancient civilizations and spanning across numerous cultures around the world. The origins of exorcism can be traced back to the belief that evil spirits or demons could possess individuals, causing them harm or illness. In many cultures, exorcism was seen as a way to banish these malevolent forces and restore balance and harmony to the afflicted person. In ancient Mesopotamia, exorcism rituals were performed by priests known as ashipu, who used various incantations and prayers to drive out evil spirits. These rituals were often accompanied by the burning of herbs and the use of sacred objects to ward off malevolent forces. The ancient Egyptians also practiced exorcism, using spells and charms to protect against demonic possession and illness. In the Judeo-Christian tradition, exorcism is mentioned in the Bible, where Jesus is depicted as casting out demons from the possessed. Catholic Church has a long history of performing exorcisms, with trained priests known as exorcists conducting rituals to rid individuals of demonic influence. In other cultures, such as those in Africa and Asia, exorcism practices often involve the use of music, dance, and ritual objects to drive out evil spirits. The practice of exorcism has evolved over time, with modern exorcists incorporating psychological and medical techniques into their rituals. While some skeptics view exorcism as a relic of the past, many demonologists and exorcists believe that it is still a valuable tool for dealing with cases of demonic possession. By understanding the origins of exorcism practices and the cultural context in which they developed, exorcists can better serve those in need of spiritual cleansing and protection from malevolent forces. You're listening to a read-through of the book Rituals of Exorcism, A Global Perspective on Banishing Evil by Flor Elizabeth Carrasco and myself, Hakeem Ali Bokus Alexander. Before it goes out to publication, in the rest of the series of books called Uniquilibrium's Demonology, which is available on Amazon.com. Ancient Exorcism Rituals. Ancient exorcism rituals have been a part of human history for centuries, with various cultures developing their own unique practices for banishing evil spirits. These rituals often involve the use of sacred objects, chants, prayers, and gestures to drive out malevolent entities from individuals or spaces. In many cultures, exorcism is seen as a vital spiritual practice to maintain balance and ward off negative influences. One of the oldest known exorcism rituals comes from ancient Mesopotamia, where priests would perform elaborate ceremonies to expel demons known as lamashtu. These rituals often involved the use of incantations, magic symbols, and offerings to appease the gods and protect the afflicted individual. The Mesopotamians believed that these demons were responsible for causing sickness, misfortune, and other forms of suffering. In ancient Egypt, exorcism rituals were performed by priests known as lector priests, who specialized in rituals of purification and protection. These rituals involved the recitation of spells and the burning of incense to drive away malevolent spirits and restore harmony to the individual or household. The Egyptians believed that certain words and gestures had the power to command the spirits to leave and restore order. In ancient Greece, exorcism rituals were performed by priests and priestesses who invoked the aid of the gods to banish evil spirits. These rituals often involved the use of sacred herbs, oils, and music to create a protective barrier against malevolent forces. The Greeks believed that illness and misfortune were caused by malevolent spirits that needed to be expelled through ritual cleansing. In ancient China, exorcism rituals were performed by Taoist priests who used a combination of chanting, drumming, and ritual dances to drive away evil spirits. These rituals often involved the use of talismans, charms, and protective amulets to create a barrier against negative energy. The Chinese believed that illness and misfortune were caused by a disruption in the flow of qi, or life force, and that exorcism rituals could restore balance and harmony to the individual or space. This is a reading of the book by myself, Hakeem Ali Bokus Alexander, and Flor Elizabeth Carrasco, entitled Rituals of Exorcism, A Global Perspective on Banishing Evil. It has not yet been published, and I'm hoping to get it out there tonight to add to the series called Uniquilibrium's Demonology, which is available on Amazon.com. You can search for Uniquilibrium's Demonology, as challenging as that might be to spell, or simply look up my name on Amazon, Hakeem Ali Bokus Alexander, and search for my books there. Continuing. Evolution of exorcism in different cultures. Exorcism is a ritual that has been practiced in various cultures around the world for centuries. The methods and beliefs surrounding exorcism have evolved over time, reflecting the unique cultural beliefs and practices of different societies. In this subchapter, we will explore the evolution of exorcism in different cultures. highlighting the similarities and differences in how demons are banished and evil is confronted. One of the earliest recorded forms of exorcism can be found in ancient Mesopotamia, where priests would perform rituals to drive out evil spirits believed to cause illness and misfortune. These rituals often involved incantations, prayers, and offerings to appease the gods and restore balance to the individual or community. The belief in demons as malevolent beings that could possess or influence humans was prevalent in Mesopotamian society, and exorcism was seen as a way to protect against their harmful influence. In ancient Egypt, exorcism was also a common practice, with priests using magical spells and rituals to expel evil spirits and protect the deceased in the afterlife. The Egyptian Book of the Dead contains instructions for performing rituals to ward off evil forces and ensure a safe passage to the underworld. Exorcism was seen as a vital part of the funerary process, ensuring that the soul could reach its destination without being hindered by malevolent spirits. Greece. Exorcism was often performed by priests or shamans known as magi, who specialized in rituals to banish demons and evil spirits. These rituals often involved invoking the gods and goddesses for protection and using talismans and charms to ward off malevolent forces. The belief in demons as supernatural beings that could cause harm to humans was widespread in Greek society, and exorcism was seen as a way to combat this threat and restore harmony to the individual or community. In medieval Europe, exorcism became closely associated with the Christian Church, with priests performing rituals to expel demons and evil spirits believed to possess individuals. The Catholic Church developed a formal rite of exorcism known as the Ritual Romanum, which outlined the procedures and prayers to be used in exorcising demons. The belief in demonic possession as a spiritual affliction that required divine intervention was central to the practice of exorcism in medieval Europe, and priests were often called upon to perform exorcisms on those believed to be under the influence of evil forces. In modern times, exorcism continues to be practiced in various cultures around the world, with different methods and beliefs informing the rituals used to banish demons and evil spirits. While the specific practices and beliefs surrounding exorcism may vary from culture to culture, the underlying belief in the power of ritual and prayer to confront and overcome evil remains a common thread. As demonologists and exorcists, it is important to understand the evolution of exorcism in different cultures in order to appreciate the diversity of beliefs and practices that shape this ancient ritual. By studying the cultural variations in exorcism, we can gain a deeper insight into the universal human desire to confront and banish evil from our lives. I am reading Rituals of Exorcism, A Global Perspective on Banishing Evil by Flor Elizabeth Carrasco and myself, Hakeem Ali Bokus Alexander, before it is published on Amazon.com, with other books in the series called Uniquilibrium's Demonology. You can actually get access to those books and my Amazon author page by going to worldreadingclub.com. Worldreadingclub.com is a direct portal to most of the things that I'm writing and to the Amazon authors page, where you'll find the other 4 books in the series Uniquilibrium's Demonology. Continuing, Chapter 2, Demonology Around the World. The concept of demons in various cultures. concept of demons is a prevalent theme in cultures around the world, each with its own unique beliefs and practices surrounding these malevolent entities. In many cultures, demons are believed to be evil spirits that possess individuals and cause harm to both the possessed person and those around them. The belief in demons dates back thousands of years and can be found in various religious texts, folklore, and traditions. In some cultures, demons are seen as fallen angels who rebelled against a higher power, while in others, they are considered to be the spirits of deceased individuals who were not properly laid to rest. Regardless of the specific origin story, demons are universally feared and believed to bring chaos, illness, and misfortune to those. Exorcism rituals are performed in many cultures to banish demons from the possessed individual and restore balance and harmony. These rituals often involve prayers, incantations, and symbolic gestures meant to drive out the demon and protect the individual from further harm. Exorcists, or individuals trained in the art of exorcism, play a crucial role in these rituals and are often called upon to help those suffering from demonic possession. The methods and practices of exorcism vary widely from culture to culture, with some relying on holy water, sacred objects, or specific chants to drive out the demon. In some cultures, exorcisms are performed by priests or religious leaders, while in others, they are carried out by shamans, medicine men, or other spiritual healers. Despite these differences, the goal of exorcism remains the same: to rid the possessed individual of the demonic presence and restore their well being. By studying the concept of demons in various cultures and the rituals used to exorcise them, demonologists and exorcists can gain a deeper understanding of the universal fear and fascination with these malevolent entities. By exploring the similarities and differences in beliefs and practices surrounding demons, practitioners can broaden their knowledge and enhance their ability to effectively banish evil from those in need. Types of demons in different belief systems. Types of demons vary greatly across different belief systems and cultures. In many Western religions, demons are often associated with evil spirits or fallen angels who rebelled against God. These demons are believed to be powerful entities that can possess individuals and cause harm. Exorcists in these traditions use rituals and prayers to banish these demons and free the possessed individual from their influence. In Eastern belief systems, demons are often seen as malevolent spirits that can cause illness and misfortune. In some cultures, demons are believed to be the spirits of deceased individuals who have not found peace in the afterlife. Exorcists in these traditions use a variety of techniques such as chanting, incense, and offerings to appease and banish these demons. In African and indigenous belief systems, demons are often viewed as malevolent spirits that inhabit the natural world. These demons can take many forms, including animals, plants, and even natural phenomena. Exorcists in these traditions use rituals and ceremonies to communicate with and banish these demons, often employing the help of spirits and ancestors. In some belief systems, demons are not necessarily seen as evil entities, but rather as forces of nature or cosmic energies that can be harnessed for good or ill. In these traditions, exorcists may seek to work with the demons to achieve certain goals or protect themselves from harm. The rituals and practices used in these traditions are often highly specialized and may involve the use of talismans, symbols, and incantations. Regardless of the specific beliefs and practices involved, exorcising demons is a common theme across cultures and belief systems. Whether through prayers, rituals, or ceremonies, exorcists seek to banish malevolent spirits and protect individuals from their influence. By understanding the types of demons present in different belief systems, exorcists can better tailor their practices to effectively banish evil and restore balance and harmony to those affected by demonic influences. This is a reading of Rituals of Exorcism, A Global Perspective on Banishing Evil by Flor Elizabeth Carrasco and myself, Hakeem Ali Bokus Alexander. Pre-publishing, I'm working out to see if there are any mistakes or anything that I can pick up in here before it goes to the press as it said, and then it will be part of Uniquilibrium's Demonology series. You can find it on Amazon.com, or you can go to worldreadingclub.com, where you'll have a direct portal to all of my books and writing. Continuing, Demonology in Modern Society. Demonology, the study of demons and their interactions with humans, has been a topic of fascination and fear for centuries. In modern society, the belief in demons and the practice of exorcism are still prevalent in many cultures around the world. This subchapter will explore the role of demonology in contemporary society, examining how different cultures approach the exorcism of evil spirits. One of the most notable aspects of demonology in modern society is the diversity of beliefs and practices surrounding the exorcism of demons. In some cultures, exorcism is performed by priests or shamans using ancient rituals and prayers, while in others it may be carried out by modern-day exorcists trained in psychology and spiritual warfare. These methods used to banish demons can vary widely, from reciting sacred texts to performing elaborate ceremonies involving incense, holy water, and symbols of protection. Despite the differences in approach, the underlying belief in the existence of demons and the need to expel them from individuals or communities remains a common thread across cultures. Many demonologists and exorcists believe that demons are malevolent spirits that can possess or influence people, causing physical or psychological harm. The practice of exorcism is seen as a way to rid individuals of these malevolent forces and restore balance and harmony to their lives. In recent years, the popularity of movies, television shows, and books featuring exorcisms and demonic possession has brought demonology into the mainstream consciousness. While some view these portrayals as sensationalized and inaccurate, others see them as an opportunity to educate the public about the realities of demonic influence and the importance of spiritual protection. The increased interest in demonology has also led to a rise in the number of individuals seeking out exorcists for help with perceived demonic attacks or possessions. Demonologists and exorcists continue to navigate the complexities of demonology in modern society. It is important to approach the practice of exorcism with caution and respect for cultural beliefs and traditions. By studying the diverse approaches to exorcism around the world and engaging in a dialogue with practitioners from different cultures, demonologists can gain a deeper understanding of the role of demons in contemporary society and work towards a more inclusive and effective approach to banishing evil spirits. At this point in time, that I need to drink another one of my kombuchas. Simply because all this talking parches the. You're listening to Rituals of Exorcism, a global perspective on banishing evil by Flora Elizabeth Carrasco and myself, Hakeem Ali Bokus Alexander. Pre-publishing, first published of demonology books called Uniquilibrium's Demonology. You can access these books by going to Amazon.com or through my website, worldreadingclub.com. Synergy Raw Kombucha, the flavor called Sacred Life. 9 billion living probiotics. All this time into my body through my mouth. But I highly doubt it. There's nothing in my book about that. I don't think I've ever researched. Well, you're in for a surprise, though. I do have another writing about eating and evil. All right. Chapter 3. Exorcism practices in major religions. Exorcism in Christianity. Exorcism in Christianity is a practice that has been performed for centuries, with roots dating back to the time of Jesus Christ. In the Christian faith, exorcism is the act of removing demons or evil spirits from a person or place through prayer, ritual, and the invocation of the name of Jesus. The belief in demonic possession and the need for exorcism is a central tenet of Christianity, with accounts of exorcisms found throughout the Bible. One of the most famous exorcisms in Christian history is the exorcism of the demon-possessed man in the Gospel of Mark. In this story, Jesus encounters a man possessed by a legion of demons, who begs Jesus to cast them out. Jesus commands the demons to leave the man, and they are expelled into a herd of pigs. This story illustrates the power of Jesus over evil spirits and the importance of faith in the practice of exorcism. The Catholic Church has a long tradition of performing exorcisms, with official guidelines and protocols in place for trained exorcists. Rite of exorcism, a ritual used by Catholic priests to expel demons, includes prayers, blessings, and the use of holy water and relics. Exorcisms are only performed after a thorough investigation to rule out any medical or psychological causes for the person's behavior. Exorcism in Christianity is not limited to the Catholic Church, however. Many Protestant denominations also believe in the power of exorcism and have trained exorcists within their ranks. The practice of exorcism is not without controversy, with some skeptics questioning the validity of demonic possession and the effectiveness of exorcism. However, for demonologists and exorcists who have witnessed the power of exorcism firsthand, there is no doubt that evil spirits can be banished through the power of prayer and faith. In conclusion, exorcism in Christianity is a powerful and ancient practice that continues to be performed by demonologists and exorcists around the world. Whether through the Catholic Church or other Christian denominations, The act of exorcism serves as a powerful tool for banishing evil and restoring spiritual balance. By upholding the teachings of Jesus Christ and the power of faith, exorcists are able to confront and conquer the forces of darkness that seek to harm and oppress humanity. Exorcism in Islam. Exorcism in Islam holds a significant place in the practice of banishing evil spirits and demons. The Islamic tradition views possession by evil spirits as a real and serious threat to individuals and communities. The Quran, the holy book of Islam, discusses the existence of demons and the need for exorcism to rid individuals of their influence. This belief in the spiritual realm and the power of exorcism is deeply ingrained in Islamic culture and traditions. In Islam, exorcism is known as ruqya and is performed by individuals known as rakis, who have knowledge of the Quran and the proper techniques for expelling evil spirits. The practice of exorcism in Islam involves reciting verses from the Quran, blowing on the possessed individual, and using special prayers and rituals to drive out the evil spirit. The goal of exorcism in Islam is to cleanse the individual of the demonic presence and restore them to a state of spiritual purity. The process of exorcism in Islam is not taken lightly and is only performed by trained individuals who have the necessary knowledge and expertise. Quran provides specific guidelines for performing exorcism, including the recitation of certain verses and prayers, as well as the use of specific rituals and practices. The belief in the power of exorcism in Islam is deeply rooted in the faith of Muslims, who believe that by calling upon the name of Allah and seeking His protection, they can overcome the influence of evil spirits. Exorcism in Islam is often a last resort for individuals who have brought methods of healing have not really and superficial free publishing book and by going yeah, series or last will be into other application and technology that has and And I, um, world, and English, um, uh, expand on uh, people in Hinduism, they practice deeply rooted in the belief that evil spirits and demons possess individuals and cause harm to physical and spiritual being. In Hindu mythology, evil often depicted powerful and malevolent beings and only through rituals and prayers performed after exorcists, known as bandits, possess the knowledge and required to identify and banish spirits. Some form of Hinduism is known as Buddha. The Buddha involves purification of and mind, the recitation of mantras, and the use of holy water. Other rituals that also on the body is the spirit that can hold the individual. The negative energy protect future possessions. Such a small thing. But it is the turning off the actions from the present what if it first? Turning to cover the businesses and cat. Maybe it's about that. Right. Through the power of these rituals, person is negative energies protected from perception. Another Exorcism in Hinduism is husband charm ward off evil spirits and protect individuals from into the amulets and blessed priests and imbued with sacred and honor that serve as a barrier against the level wearing these talismans. Individuals can feel a sense of security and peace when they feel from the dangers of spiritual possession. In addition to traditional exorcism will also speak of writing and body. entities from a verse or place. In Buddhism, belief in spirits and demons is ingrained and actually necessary to maintain spiritual purity and protect individual from exorcism in Buddhism is often performed by monks or other practitioners with a deep understanding of the scripture and teaching. One of the key aspects of exorcism in Buddhism is the use of mantras and prayers to invoke the protection of Buddha or other enlightened beings. These mantras are believed to have the power to dispel evil spirits and purify the environment in which the exorcism is taking place. In addition to reciting mantras, exorcists may also use ritual objects such as bells, drums, and incense to create a sacred and protective space for the exorcism to take place. Another important element of exorcism in Buddhism is the practice of visualization and meditation. During the exorcism ritual, the exorcist may guide the person being exorcised through visualizations of protective deities and enlightened beings, helping them to overcome their fear and negativity. Through these visualizations, the person being exorcised can tap into their own inner strength and courage, enabling them to confront and banish the evil spirits that are causing them harm. Exorcism in Buddhism is not just about banishing evil spirits. It is also about helping the person being exorcised to overcome their own inner demons and negative emotions. By purifying the mind and spirit through the ritual of exorcism, individuals can achieve a sense of peace and balance, free from the influence of malevolent forces. This holistic approach to exorcism sets Buddhism apart from other religious traditions and emphasizes the importance of inner transformation to overcoming external threats. Overall, exorcism in Buddhism is a powerful and transformative practice that aims to purify the mind, body, and spirit from negative influences. By invoking the protection of Buddha and other enlightened beings, reciting mantras, and engaging in visualization and meditation, exorcists in Buddhism help individuals to overcome their spiritual obstacles and achieve a sense of peace and well-being. For demonologists, exorcists, and those interested in the practice of exorcism in different cultures, studying the rituals of exorcism in Buddhism can provide valuable insights into the power of spiritual purification and protection. You're listening to a reading of Rituals of Exorcism, a Global Perspective on Banishing Evil, written by myself, Hakeem Ali Bokus Alexander, and Laura Elizabeth Carrasco. It has not yet been published. This is a pre-publication reading so that I can check for any errors or see if there are any changes that I would like to be made. You can find this book on Amazon.com probably sometime tomorrow. But there are also 4 other books in the series so far called Uniquilibrium's Demonology, which you can find on Amazon.com, as well as going through worldreadingclub.com, my website, worldreadingclub.com. You can go there and find access to where to find these books and also to other writings that I've published directly on the website. Continuing, Chapter 4, Cultural Approaches to Exorcism. African Exorcism Rituals. African exorcism rituals have a rich and diverse history that dates back centuries. These rituals are deeply rooted in the traditional beliefs and practices of various African cultures and are often performed by spiritual leaders or healers who have been trained in the art of exorcism. While the specific details of these rituals may vary from region to region, they all share a common goal: to banish evil spirits and restore balance and harmony to the individual or community affected. One of the most common forms of African exorcism rituals involves the use of music and dance to invoke the spirits and drive out the evil forces. Drumming, chanting, and rhythmic movements are all used to create a powerful energy that can help to expel the demons from the possessed individual. In some cases, the exorcism may also involve the use of herbs, potions, or other natural remedies to cleanse the body and spirit of the afflicted person. Another important aspect of African exorcism rituals is the role of the community in supporting the individual who is possessed. Family members, friends, and other members of the community often come together to provide emotional support and assistance during the exorcism process. This sense of unity and solidarity can help to strengthen the individual's resolve and create a positive energy that can aid in the successful banishment of the evil spirits. In many African cultures, exorcism, exorcism rituals are also seen as a form of spiritual healing that can address not only the immediate problem of possession, but also the underlying issues that may have contributed to the individual's vulnerability to evil spirits. By confronting and overcoming these deeper spiritual challenges, the individual can achieve a greater sense of wholeness and well being that can help to prevent future possessions from occurring. Overall, African exorcism rituals offer a unique and powerful perspective on banishing evil that can provide valuable insights and techniques for demonologists, exorcists, and others interested in the practice of exorcism across different cultures. By studying and understanding these rituals, we can gain a deeper appreciation for the rich diversity of human spiritual experience and the ways in which different cultures have developed their own methods for confronting and overcoming the forces of darkness. Native American exorcism practices. Native American exorcism practices have been a significant part of indigenous cultures for centuries. These rituals are deeply rooted in the spiritual beliefs and are performed to rid individuals, communities, or spaces of malevolent spirits or negative energy. The methods used in Native American exorcisms vary widely among different tribes and religions, but all share a common goal of restoring balance and harmony to the spiritual world. One common practice among Native American tribes is the use of smudging, which involves burning sacred herbs such as sage, cedar, or sweetgrass to cleanse a person or space of negative energy. The smoke from the burning herbs is believed to carry prayers to the spirit world and drive away malevolent entities that may be causing harm. Smudging is often accompanied by prayers or chants to invoke the assistance of benevolent spirits in the exorcism process. Another important aspect of Native American exorcism practices is the use of sacred objects or symbols, such as feathers, crystals, or animal bones, to help focus the energy of the ritual and protect the participants from harm. These objects are often imbued with spiritual power through ceremonies or blessings by tribal elders or shamans. The presence of these sacred objects can help to create a sacred space in which the exorcism can take place safely and effectively. In some Native American traditions, exorcisms are performed through the use of dance or music. These rituals often involve elaborate costumes, masks, and drumming to create a powerful and transformative experience for the participants. The rhythmic beat of the drum is believed to help align the participants' energies with the spirits of the natural world, making it easier to drive out negative entities and restore balance to the spiritual realm. Overall, Native American exorcism practices are deeply rooted in the belief that all living beings are connected to the spiritual world and that it is necessary to maintain harmony between the physical and spiritual realms in order to live a healthy and prosperous life. By performing these rituals, Native American communities seek to heal individuals and communities that have been affected by negative forces and restore balance and harmony to the world around them. You're listening to Rituals of Exorcism, a reading of a global perspective on banishing evil. Thank you for passing through or sitting a spell to listen. Dean Preston, Kristen Brown, Samantha Thomas, Gladys Janet, Sweeter Salel, Rosemary Dawson, Sue Bowman, Dow with the Dashes, Greg's Take, Wandering Fool, Kay Briggs, Dr. Tim Stafford, Sully Nina, June E., and Ted Pottle. The book was written by myself, Hakeem Ali Bokus Alexander, and Flora Elizabeth Carrasco. You can find this book later on in the next day or two by following the links on worldreadingclub.com, which is going to be part of a series of books in Uniquilibrium's Demonology. There are 4 in this series so far. Continuing. Exorcism in Asian cultures. Exorcism in Asian cultures has a long and rich history, deeply rooted in ancient beliefs and practices. From Japan to India, exorcism rituals have been performed for centuries to banish evil spirits and restore balance to the physical and spiritual realms. In many Asian cultures, exorcism is seen as a necessary practice to protect individuals and communities from malevolent forces that threaten their well-being. One of the most well-known forms of exorcism in Asian cultures is the practice of exorcising demons through traditional rituals and ceremonies. In Japan, for example, exorcism rituals called kagura are performed by Shinto priests to purify spaces and rid them of negative energy. These rituals often involve chanting, drumming, and dancing to drive out evil spirits and restore harmony to the environment. In India, exorcism is a common practice in Hinduism, where priests known as pandits perform rituals to cleanse individuals of demonic possession. These rituals can involve reciting sacred texts, making offerings to deities, and performing rituals to appease the spirits causing harm. The goal of these rituals is to restore balance and harmony to the individual body and soul. In China, exorcism rituals are often performed by Taoist priests known as Wu or shaman. These priests use a combination of herbs, chants, and talismans to banish evil spirits and restore health and well-being to the afflicted individual. Exorcism rituals in China are often elaborate ceremonies that involve multiple steps to ensure the complete removal of negative energies. Overall, exorcism in Asian cultures is a diverse and complex practice that reflects the beliefs and traditions of each region. From the elaborate rituals of Japan to the ancient practices of India and China, exorcism in Asia is a powerful tool for protecting individuals and communities from the forces of darkness. By understanding and respecting these cultural practices, demonologists and exorcists can gain valuable insights into the techniques and beliefs that have been used for centuries to banish evil spirits and restore balance to the world. European exorcism traditions. Throughout history, Europe has been home to a rich tapestry of exorcism traditions that have evolved and adapted over time. From the Catholic Church's formal exorcism rituals to the more folkloric practices of rural communities, the continent has a long and varied history of banishing evil spirits. One of the most well-known European exorcism traditions is that of the Catholic Church, which has a formal ritual for exorcising demons known as the Rite of Exorcism. This ritual, which dates back to the early days of the Church, involves the use of holy water, prayers, and the invocation of the name of God to drive out evil spirits from the possessed individual. While the rite of exorcism is reserved for trained priests, it has become a symbol of the power of faith in battling demonic forces. In addition to the formal exorcism rituals of the Catholic Church, Europe is also home to a variety of folkloric traditions for banishing evil spirits. In some rural communities, for example, it is believed that certain herbs and plants have the power to ward off demons, and individuals may perform rituals involving these natural remedies to protect themselves from malevolent forces. These folk practices, passed down through generations, demonstrate the diversity and adaptability of European exorcism traditions. Another unique aspect of European exorcism traditions is the prevalence of exorcism in popular culture. From classic works of literature such as The Exorcist to modern horror films like The Conjuring, the theme of exorcism has long captivated audiences in Europe and beyond. While these depictions may not always accurately reflect the reality of exorcism practices, they serve to keep the tradition alive in the public imagination. Conclusion: European exorcism traditions are a complex and multifaceted phenomena that reflect the continent's diverse cultural history. From the formal rituals of the Catholic Church to the folk practices of rural communities, Europe's exorcism traditions continue to evolve and adapt to the modern world. By studying and understanding these traditions, demonologists, exorcists, and those interested in exorcising demons in different cultures can gain valuable insights into the ways in which Europeans have sought to banish evil throughout history. You're listening to Rituals of Exorcism, a reading of A Global Perspective on Banishing Evil, published by Hakeem Ali Bokus Alexander, that's me, and Flor Elizabeth Carrasco. I said published, but written by. It has not yet been published. This is a pre-publication reading to work out any mistakes or to look at any updates that need to be made before it goes to press. You'll be able to find this book on Amazon.com soon. And also, if you don't feel like searching through there, you can simply go to worldreadingclub.com, where you'll find a portal into all things that I'm publishing, whether they be blogs or put together in these books. Under this series in particular, there's 5 books in the series so far, this being the 5th, but there are 4 published. And the series is called Uniquilibrium's Demonology. I do have 6 other books published on Amazon, but they're not part of this series. And again, the series is Uniquilibrium's Demonology, and you can go to World Reading Club if you want to check them out. Chapter 5: Contemporary Exorcism Techniques. The Role of Technology in Exorcism. In today's modern world, technology plays a crucial part or a crucial role in the practice of exorcism. Demonologists and exorcists are turning to various technological tools to aid them in banishing evil spirits from individuals. From audio recordings to thermal imaging cameras, technology has revolutionized the way exorcisms are conducted across different cultures. One of the most common uses of technology in exorcism is the use of audio recordings. Exorcists often use audio devices to capture the sounds of possessed individuals during exorcism rituals. Recordings can then be analyzed to identify the presence of demonic entities and to track the progress of the exorcism. In some cases, these recordings have been used as evidence of possession in the event of legal disputes or skepticism. Another technological tool that has become increasingly popular in exorcism rituals is the thermal imaging camera. These cameras can detect changes in the temperature that may indicate the presence of demonic entities. Exorcists use thermal imaging cameras to identify cold spots, which are often associated with the presence of evil spirits. By pinpointing these areas, exorcists can focus their prayers and rituals to expel the demons more effectively. In addition to audio recordings and thermal imaging cameras, exorcists are also utilizing social media and online platforms to reach a wider audience. Through live streaming exorcisms, yes, and sharing testimonials of successful banishments, exorcists are able to connect with individuals seeking their services from around the world. This use of technology has helped to break down geographical barriers and expand the reach of exorcism practices to a global audience. While technology has certainly enhanced the practice of exorcism, it is important for demonologists and exorcists to remember that the true power lies in the spiritual realm. Technology should be seen as a tool to aid in the process of banishing evil, but it is ultimately the faith, prayers, and rituals performed by the exorcists that have the most significant impact. By embracing technology while staying true to the traditional methods of exorcism, demonologists and exorcists can continue to effectively combat evil spirits in all their forms. Psychological approaches to exorcism. In the field of demonology and exorcism, there is a growing recognition of the importance of psychological approaches to understanding and treating cases of possession. While traditional exorcisms often focus on religious rituals and spiritual interventions, it is becoming increasingly clear that addressing the psychological factors underlying possession can be crucial in effectively banishing evil spirits. One key psychological approach to exorcism involves exploring the mental health of the individual experiencing possession. In many cases, symptoms of possession can be linked to underlying psychological disorders such as schizophrenia, dissociative identity disorder, or post-traumatic stress disorder. By addressing these underlying mental health issues through therapy and medication, exorcists can help individuals regain control over their minds and bodies, reducing the likelihood of future possession. Another important psychological aspect of exorcism is the role of belief systems and cultural context in shaping perceptions of possession. Different cultures have varying beliefs about the nature of evil spirits and the methods for exorcising them. By understanding and respecting these cultural beliefs, exorcists can tailor their interventions to be more effective and culturally sensitive, ultimately leading to better outcomes for those seeking relief from possession. In addition to individual psychological factors, the dynamics of possession can also be influenced by interpersonal and social factors. In cases where possession is believed to be a form of social control or manipulation, exorcists may need to work with families, communities, or other social groups to address underlying power dynamics and conflicts that may be contributing to the possession. By taking a holistic approach to exorcism that considers the psychological, cultural, and social dimensions, of possession, exorcists can provide more comprehensive and effective interventions for those in need. Overall, the integration of psychological approaches into the practice of exorcism represents a significant advancement in the field of demonology. By recognizing the complex interplay of individual, cultural, and societal factors that can contribute to possession, exorcists can better understand and address the root causes of demonic affliction, leading to more successful outcomes for those seeking liberation from evil spirits. Though through a multidisciplinary approach that combines spiritual, psychological, and cultural insights, exorcists can continue to expand their understanding of possession and develop more effective strategies for banishing evil from the world. You're listening to Rituals of Exorcism, a global perspective on banishing evil, written by Flora Elizabeth Carrasco and myself, Hakeem Ali Bokus Alexander. This is a pre-publication reading so that I can see if there are any areas that need to be changed, updated, improved upon, but I might be too lazy to do any of that if I find that there are no spelling errors. You can find this book later on. It'll be published on Amazon.com. There are 4 previous books in a series called Uniquilibrium's Demonology. You can access the links to these books through Amazon by going to my website, worldreadingclub.com, or typing in my name, Hakeem Ali Bokus Alexander, into Amazon. Continuing. The ethics of exorcism in the modern world. In the modern world, the practice of exorcism is often met with skepticism and controversy. As demonologists and exorcists, it is important to consider the ethical implications of performing exorcisms in different cultures. While exorcism is a deeply rooted ritual in many societies, it is crucial to approach the practice with respect and sensitivity to the beliefs and traditions of the community in which it is being performed. One of the key ethical considerations of exorcism is the issue of consent. In many cases, individuals who are believed to be possessed may not fully understand or consent to the exorcism ritual. It is important for demonologists and exorcists to ensure that the individual is willing to participate in the ritual and to respect their autonomy throughout the process. Without consent, exorcism can be seen as a violation of an individual's rights and beliefs. Another ethical consideration is the potential harm that can come from performing exorcisms. In some cases, individuals may be subjected to physical or emotional harm during the ritual. It is important for demonologists and exorcists to prioritize the well-being of an individual and to ensure that the ritual is performed in a safe and controlled manner. This may involve working closely with mental health professionals or other experts to ensure that the individual receives the appropriate care and support. Cultural sensitivity is also crucial when performing exorcisms in different societies. Each culture has its own belief and tradition surrounding exorcism, and it is important for demonologists and exorcists to understand and respect these cultural differences. Approaching exorcism with an open mind and a willingness to learn from the community can help to build trust and establish a respectful relationship between the exorcist and the individuals seeking help. Conclusion. The ethics of exorcism in the modern world are complex and multifaceted. Demonologists and exorcists must consider issues of consent, harm, and cultural sensitivity when performing exorcisms in different cultures. By approaching the practice with respect and mindfulness, exorcists can help to banish evil in a way that is ethical and empowering for all involved. You're listening to Rituals of Exorcism, a reading of A Global Perspective on Banishing Evil, written by Hakeem Ali Bokus Alexander, that's me, and Flor Elizabeth Carrasco. It will soon be published on Amazon.com, where you can also right now find the other 4 books in a series called Uniquilibrium's Demonology. You can find links to and access these books by going to visiting worldreadingclub.com. Continuing, Chapter 6, Challenges and Controversies in Exorcism. Pause. I'm more frequently needing to drink some liquid here in my kombucha. I think I'm drinking Sacred Life. I didn't, when I grabbed it earlier out of the bag that I just got from Whole Food, I just reached in without looking. Yeah, I had a 1 in 4 chance of picking Sacred Life. And yes, by the way, I did get 4 different flavors, so it wasn't like they were all Sacred Life. Come on now. All right. Continuing, Chapter 6, Challenges and Controversies in Exorcism. Media Portrayals of Exorcism. Media portrayals of exorcism have played a significant role in shaping public perceptions of this ancient ritual. In popular culture, exorcisms are often depicted as dramatic and horrifying events, with priests battling against powerful demonic forces to save the possessed individual's soul. These portrayals have both fascinated and terrified audiences, perpetuating myths and misconceptions about exorcism practices. One of the most famous media portrayals of exorcism is the 1973 film The Exorcist, which follows the story of a young girl possessed by a demonic entity. The film's graphic and intense scenes have become iconic in the horror genre, influencing how many people imagine exorcisms to be. While the film is based on a true story, it takes creative liberties and exaggerates the ritualistic aspects of exorcism for dramatic effect. Television shows such as Supernatural and American Horror Story have also featured exorcism storylines, further perpetuating the sensationalized image of exorcisms in popular culture. These fictional portrayals often focus on the physical and psychological toll that exorcisms take on the individuals performing them, adding an element of danger and suspense to the narrative. While these media portrayals may be entertaining, they do not accurately represent the nuanced and culturally diverse practices of exorcism around the world. Different cultures have their own unique rituals and beliefs surrounding exorcism, from the Catholic rite of exorcism to the shamanic practices of indigenous communities. By focusing on sensationalized depictions of exorcism, the media overlooks the rich cultural history and significance of these rituals. As demonologists, exorcists, and practitioners of exorcism in different cultures, it is important to critically engage with media portrayals of exorcism and educate the public about the reality of these rituals. By demystifying exorcism practices and highlighting their cultural diversity, we can dispel myths and stereotypes surrounding this ancient tradition. Through a more nuanced understanding of exorcism, we can foster greater respect and appreciation for the spiritual beliefs and practices of different cultures around the world. Criticisms of exorcism practices. Despite the long history and widespread practice of exorcism in various cultures around the world, there are many criticisms and controversies surrounding this ritual. One of the main criticisms is the lack of scientific evidence to support the existence of demonic possession and the effectiveness of exorcism in treating it. Skeptics argue that many cases of supposed possession can be explained by psychological or medical conditions, and that exorcism may do more harm than good in these cases. Another criticism of exorcism practices is the potential for abuse and exploitation. In some cases, vulnerable individuals, such as those with mental health issues or those facing difficult life circumstances, may be manipulated or coerced into undergoing exorcisms by unscrupulous practitioners. This can result in further trauma and harm to the individual rather than providing them with the help they need. Critics point to the often secretive and unregulated nature of exorcism practices, which can make it difficult to hold practitioners accountable for any misconduct or harm caused during the ritual. Without proper oversight and guidelines, there is a risk of unethical behavior and abuse within the exorcism community. Furthermore, some critics argue that the focus on exorcism as a solution to spiritual problems may divert attention from may divert attention and resources away from addressing the root causes of suffering and distress in individuals and communities. Instead of seeking out supernatural explanations for mental health issues or social problems, critics argue that it is important to prioritize evidence-based interventions, support systems. In light of these criticisms, it is crucial for demonologists, exorcists, and those interested in the practice of exorcism to engage in ongoing dialogue and reflection on the ethical and practical implications of their work. By addressing by addressing these criticisms and working towards greater transparency, accountability, and respect for the well-being of those seeking help through exorcism, practitioners can ensure that their rituals are conducted in a responsible and ethical manner. Legal issues surrounding exorcism. Legal issues surrounding exorcism are a key consideration for demonologists, exorcists, and those interested in the practice of banishing evil spirits. While exorcism rituals have been performed for centuries in various cultures around the world, the legality of these practices can vary significantly depending on the country and jurisdiction in which they are conducted. In many cases, exorcism is considered a religious practice and is protected under laws that guarantee freedom of religion. However, there are also instances where exorcism can potentially run afoul of criminal law, particularly in cases where individuals are harmed or exploited during the ritual. The main legal issues surrounding exorcism is the potential for harm to individuals who are subjected to the ritual. In some cases, exorcism can involve physical violence or other forms of abuse, which can lead to serious injury or even death. This raises important questions about the rights of individuals who are undergoing exorcism and the responsibilities of exorcists to ensure their safety and well-being. Many countries have laws in place to protect individuals from harm and abuse, and exorcists must be aware of these laws and abide by them in their practice. Another legal issue surrounding exorcism is the issue of consent. In order for an exorcism to be conducted legally, the individual who is undergoing the ritual must must consent to it willingly and without coercion. This can be a complex issue, particularly in cases where individuals may be vulnerable or under the influence of others who may not have their best interests at heart. Exorcists must ensure that they obtain informed consent from individuals before performing the ritual, and they must be aware of the legal implications of conducting exorcisms without consent. In some cases, exorcisms may also involve the use of substances or objects that are regulated or prohibited by law. For example, certain herbs, incense, or other materials used in exorcism and exorcism rituals may be considered illegal substances in some jurisdictions. Exorcists must be aware of the laws governing these substances and ensure that they are in compliance with them when performing exorcisms. Failure to do so can result in legal consequences, including criminal charges or fines. Overall, legal issues surrounding exorcism are complex and multifaceted, requiring demonologists, exorcists, and others involved in the practice to have a thorough understanding of the laws and regulations that govern their work. By being aware of these legal issues and taking steps to ensure compliance with them, exorcists can protect themselves and their clients from potential legal pitfalls and ensure that their practice is conducted ethically and responsibly. Taking another sip of or maybe a gulp of my kombucha, you're listening to Rituals of Exorcism, a reading of A Global Perspective on Banishing Evil, written by myself, Hakeem Alibokis Alexander, and Flor Elizabeth Carrasco. It will soon be published on Amazon.com and included in a series of books in which 4 are already published and available on Amazon.com under the series titled Uniquilibrium's Demonology. You can access these books by visiting my website, worldreadingclub.com, where you'll find all the links necessary to enter a portal into Uniquilibrium's Demonology series. This will be the 5th book published in that series. Chapter 7, The Future of Exorcism. Yes, unfortunately, exorcism has a future. Trends in exorcism practices. In recent years, there has been a noticeable trend in the practices of exorcism across different cultures and belief systems. One of the most prominent trends is the increasing use of technology in exorcism rituals. Many demonologists and exorcists are incorporating technology such as audio recordings, video cameras, and even smartphone apps into their exorcism practices. These tools are used to document and analyze the presence of evil spirits, as well as to communicate with the spirit world. Another trend in exorcism practices is the growing acceptance of alternative healing methods. While traditional exorcism rituals often involve prayers, chants, and holy water, many demonologists and exorcists are now exploring the use of alternative healing practices such as energy work, crystal therapy, and herbal remedies. These methods are believed to help cleanse the body and spirit of negative energies and entities. One interesting trend in exorcism practices is the increasing focus on mental health and psychology. Many demonologists and exorcists are now working closely with psychologists and mental health professionals to address the underlying psychological issues that may be contributing to a person's possession or spiritual distress. This holistic approach to exorcism aims to treat the whole person, addressing both the spiritual and psychological aspects of their condition. Another trend in exorcism practices is the resurgence of ancient rituals and traditions. Many demonologists and exorcists are now drawing inspiration from ancient cultures and belief systems, incorporating elements of shamanism, animism, and other indigenous practices into their exorcism rituals. These ancient traditions are believed to offer powerful tools for banishing evil spirits and restoring balance to the spiritual realm. Overall, the trends in exorcism practices reflect a growing awareness and openness to new ideas and approaches in the field of demonology and exorcism. As our understanding of spirituality and the supernatural continues to evolve, it is likely that we will see even more innovation and diversity in the practices of exorcism across different cultures and belief systems. The globalization of exorcism. Globalization. The globalization of exorcism is a fascinating phenomena that has gained momentum in recent years. As demonologists and exorcists, it is crucial for us to understand how exorcism practices have evolved and spread across different cultures and regions. The globalization of exorcism has led to a rich exchange of knowledge and techniques, as well as the adaptation of traditional practices to suit modern contexts. One of the key aspects of the globalization of exorcism is the increasing awareness and interest in demonology and exorcism practices in different cultures. As we explore the rituals and beliefs surrounding exorcism in various parts of the world, we can see how these practices have been shaped by cultural, religious, and historical factors. By studying these diverse traditions, we can gain a deeper understanding of the universal human experience of confronting and banishing evil forces. In many cultures, exorcism rituals are deeply rooted in ancient traditions and religious beliefs. For example, in Catholicism, exorcism is a sacred rite performed by trained priests to expel demons and evil spirits. Similarly, in indigenous cultures, shamans and healers use rituals and ceremonies to cleanse individuals and spaces of negative energies. The globalization of exorcism has allowed for the sharing of these practices, leading to a more comprehensive understanding of the spiritual world. The globalization of exorcism has also sparked debates and controversies within the field of demonology. Some argue that the commercialization and sensationalization of exorcism practices have led to a dilution of their sacredness and efficacy. Others believe that the exchange of knowledge and techniques has enriched the field and allowed for new insights and innovations. By engaging in these discussions, demonologists, demonologists and exorcists can continue to refine and improve their practices. Conclusion. The globalization of exorcism presents both challenges and opportunities for demonologists and exorcists. By studying the rituals and beliefs surrounding exorcism in different cultures, we can deepen our understanding of the universal human experience of confronting and banishing evil forces. It is essential for us to approach this phenomena with an open mind and a critical eye in order to continue and evolve and improve practices in the field of demonology and exorcism. I got a little distracted. Read that last sentence one more time. It is essential for us to approach this phenomena with an open mind and a critical eye in order to evolve and improve our practices in the field of demonology and exorcism. You're listening to Rituals of Exorcism, a global perspective on banishing evil, written by myself, Hakeem Alipokus Alexander, and Flor Elizabeth Carrasco. You can find this book on Amazon.com and probably by tomorrow, which right now it is the 20th of April, 2024. And so it'll probably be available by the 21st of April, be added to a series entitled Uniquilibrium's Demonology. This will be the fifth book published in that series. There are four more in the series Uniquilibrium's Demonology. If you'd like to view these books, read them, you can go to worldreadingclub.com. That may be easier to remember than trying to type out my very long name with a lot of syllables. That may seem foreign to some of you, but World Reading Club is easy enough to remember, and you can gain access to the books there. All right. The impact of exorcism on society. The practice of exorcism has had a profound impact on societies across the globe, influencing everything from religious beliefs to cultural practices. In many cultures, exorcism is seen as a necessary ritual to banish evil spirits and protect communities from harm. The act of exorcising demons is not only a spiritual practice, but also a social one, as it brings people together in the face of adversity and strengthens community bonds. One of the ways in which exorcism impacts society is through the way it shapes religious beliefs and practices. In many cultures, exorcism is a central component of religious rituals and ceremonies, serving as a powerful tool for cleansing the soul and protecting against spiritual harm. The belief in demons and evil spirits is often deeply ingrained in religious traditions, and exorcism is seen as a way to confront and overcome these dark forces. Furthermore, the practice of exorcism can also have a significant impact on individuals and communities who are struggling with mental health issues. In some cases, people may believe that they are possessed by demons when they are actually suffering from mental illness. Exorcism can provide a sense of relief and closure for those who are battling these internal struggles, offering a sense of hope and healing in the face of diversity or adversity. One more time. Exorcism can provide a sense of relief and closure for those who are battling these internal struggles, offering a sense of hope and healing in the face of adversity. Exorcism also plays a role in shaping cultural identities and traditions. In many cultures, exorcism is a deeply rooted practice that is passed down through generations, serving as a way to connect with ancestors and preserve cultural heritage. The rituals and ceremonies associated with exorcism are often intertwined with local customs and beliefs, creating a sense of community and connection to the past. Overall, the impact of exorcism on society is multifaceted and complex, touching on everything from religious beliefs to mental health to cultural identity. Demonologists, exorcists, and those interested in the practice of exorcism in different cultures must consider these various factors when studying and performing rituals of banishing evil. By understanding the broader implications